it's not the official, but we have, I think, 2 minutes to get to know each other. I'm Suzanne, you're William.
Yeah.
Nice, and you're traveling, beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm Vera.
Vera, so nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Are you part of CAPS?
No, I'm a non-member at this point.
Oh, where are you? Are you traveling, or you're from Nova Scotia?
I'm from Moncton.
Oh, beautiful. Okay, so nice to meet you.
Hi, I'm Stephanie.
Hi, Stephanie. Okay.
Oh, like 8 years in. Okay. I almost bought one on the back front. I wish I had it now.
Nice to see you. Such a good. And you? Good day so far? Excellent. I find these sessions funny because I feel like I'm just talking and people, they say, you don't have time for questions or discussion. Just say the things. I'll ask you questions later.
It looks like, oh my God, we still have a minute and 15 seconds left. And you guys are running. Get yourself up here!
Yeah.
We're actually going to start right away.
Perfect.
Start
Okay.
the session now.
So it's such a pleasure to have you all. Imagine this. You are sitting in a steering committee meeting across from your client. It's a big boardroom table. The CEO is at the end and the rest of the executive team is there. It's Chief Transformation Officer on that side and you on the other side looking at each other in the eyes. This client is going through a multi-billion-dollar transformation, and they set up the steering committee to actually move it forward, to make the hard decisions that would actually get them to go out of status quo and out of the momentum that they had that had been pretty basic, and have exponential growth and impact over the next 3 years. So this is a relatively new steering committee, and you're not seeing the behavior change. It's been a number of weeks. You're seeing the executive team speak, connect, share information, but you're not actually seeing them have hard discussions, dialogue, make decisions. You are there as the advisor, the only person who's not part of that executive team. What do you do? Well, I'll tell you, this was real for me. I lead multi-billion-dollar transformations for multinational companies. And I'm often in this position of saying, I can move things forward by saying the thing, but am I going to say it in a way that resonates at the right time, or am I actually going to create risk for myself and for my relationships by speaking up? And so this is what I'm here to chat with you about today, both from the context of a consultant, an advisor, but also a keynote speaker, trainer, facilitator, anyone who comes in and is in a trusted position to share your expertise or make sure that the client is able to move forward, whether it's with an insight, inspiration, learning, decision, so on. So I prepared some materials, but the thing is that it starts in all of these cases with what you do before the moment starts. Because I was sitting there thinking, do I speak up 4 weeks in? Have I earned the credibility? Do I have the trust? But before I got to that point, I had actually brokered conversations with my clients to set the boundaries for when and how I could share. And I actually do the same with keynotes, where I say, what are you trying to achieve out of this talk? What would success look like, and how can I be part of that? Because I'll sometimes have clients saying, the team's having a really hard time. We just announced a lot of exits. This is a time for people to just connect and be together and feel inspired and motivated. In those cases, I'm not going to rock the boat. I'm not going to say things that stress them out more. I'm going to calm the waters. Other times, I just had a client tell me to do a keynote on transformation and specifically about how fast technology is changing. Their pain point that they want me to solve in this moment while talking about massive transformational energy and activities and moving parts across industries and companies is that they still have employees working off Excel off the side of their desk, and they want people to stop doing that and actually use the system. So what do I do in the keynote? In that specific case, I'm doing all this big picture talking and I make a joke. I say, look at how fast AI is moving. If you look at the growth curve, it's basically vertical. Think about for you as people within this organization, if you're still doing things like working off Excel off the side of your desk, you're gonna get left behind. So let's get on track. But that was a message fed directly from my client around the outcome they wanted to create in the keynote. So first I look at intention, and this is where I'm gonna walk you through the 8-step speak up decision chart that I use when I'm making these decisions. And it's very proactive and thoughtful. It's not something that I would typically do just in the room and in the space. So one, what am I hoping to create? Is this a situation where it's a one-time keynote, I'm gonna be standing in front of the audience and I'm trying to make people happy or teach them something or leave them motivated, inspired? What is it that I'm trying to get? Is there a message I'm trying to get? Or is it something advisory on the consulting side where this is gonna be a longer term relationship and the outcome is to help them hit a multi-year strategy or achieve a program? So may I ask here in the group, how many of you do keynotes? How many of you do advisory or consulting? Okay, this is a consulting audience. What about learning and development or training? Okay, and facilitation? Okay, so we have a mix but a lot of things. And this is relevant for all. So what are you hoping to create and what is the time window in which you're hoping to create it? Next is, if the message is contentious, will it create discomfort, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, or will it cross the line into harm? Are you going to lead people into a worse place than they started with? If so, this is not the time or forum to say the thing. You never want to leave people worse off because it's totally fine in my mind to make people a little bit uncomfortable because that's part of change, to move them outside the status quo. But it's not right to leave them worse off where now there's a void and they have to dig themselves out of a hole, especially if you're not going to be there to dig them out of it. So next, I think about metabolism. Can the room metabolize the thing that I'm going to say? So a lot of my clients are dealing with change, massive transformational change. And so in that context of change, they're dealing with layers of complexity. I have a model that I developed and used. It's super simple, but I think about layers of change for any corporate person. First is business as usual. This is the stuff that's in their job description that they're having to deal with. And there are going to be ebbs and flows and change to the work, and each day might be a little bit different from the day before. Next is strategic layer. So strategic layer could be anything like a new strategy, a new culture, could be a new technology that they have to figure out that's laid on top of business as usual. And if you think about capacity, people are typically organized at a 40-hour-a-week. 40-hour-a-week typically covers your business as usual. That's not the strategic layer. That's typically on top, which is why you might see managers feeling like they have to work 40, 50, 60 or more hours a week because they're dealing with strategic layer. Next is employee layer. So this could be anything from a high performer walking out the door or dealing with somebody on a performance improvement plan or navigating, hiring, exits, whatever it is, but employee layer. Plus all of the moving parts of regular cycles. Performance cycle, talent cycle, year-end, year beginning, annual planning, anything employee. Then the last one is that human layer, which doesn't leave us when we walk in the doors of our office. So this could be something like somebody going through a marriage or relationship breakdown while working, somebody dealing with an illness while working, a loved one going through a hard time while working. There's so much we don't see or know about the people around us. And I think of it as that iceberg. We see this much of people, not the rest. So when we're dealing with our employees or even ourselves, there's a lot of mental capacity going to deal with that human layer and all the rest. So thinking about metabolism, I'm thinking, are they already at the end of their rope? Can they take on more? Because I can tell them the thing, I can suggest something, but if they're not going to be able to absorb it, what's the point? Next is I look at trust. So trust has multiple components: credibility, reliability, likability, and selfishness. Are we in it for the company and the client or for ourselves? And so do they trust me? Do they know me enough? Have I proven my reliability over a period of time? Or am I just showing up for the first time trying to say something tough and they don't know who I am or if they should believe it? You can hack elements of this. You can hack credibility. You can name drop, you can number drop. I'll often say in sessions, I've worked with over 80 clients in 14 countries. I'll name drop, I'll logo drop, like happy to do that, but it's very much a credibility hack to get people to trust you a lot faster than actually the time it takes to build reliability and show them a track record of success. Likability, take it or leave it a little bit. I said in the description of this session, how do we move from likable to trustworthy? But that's actually a little bit of a false distinction because likability is part of being trustworthy. But here's the thing, people might like you, they might not trust you. They might think you're a lovely person, they might not feel like they can give you the work and that you will consistently get it done. And so I try to build trust before giving a particularly contentious message, otherwise it's not going to land. Next is how to structure